Good morning, everybody. It is time for Tao of the Day. Here we are just after 9 o'clock Central Time, and we are going to be discussing the Tao. The Tao Te Ching is a text that was written 600 BCE, presumably by Lao Tzu. There's all sorts of I'm not trying to make any statements. I'm not trying to lean on anything, but it is a great text. This text helps us understand what it means to live a reasonable life and how we can execute that. It's wonderful to be able to come here, and I want to offer you some guidance in understanding what the Tao says. And it's very much like choosing a card. You pick a number between 1 and 81, come up, and we will read the Tao together. My name is Martin John. I host the Tao of the Day weekdays here on Wisdom Central Time in the morning sometimes. So I can get on as early as 4 a.m. and as late as I haven't gotten on later than 10, but 10 o'clock sometimes I do get on. It is currently 9, and I am looking forward to chatting with you all about the Tao Te Ching. Once again, just come on up and pick a number between 1 and 81. I'm getting my notes ready so we can post this as a podcast on Spotify. So if you use Spotify, you can check out Tao of the Day, and every episode has been uploaded there. You can also check out my website, martinjohn.com, and find all of my wisdom talks. Later on today, I will be hosting On Recovery. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about with the On Recovery talk today. I didn't plan anything yet. I've been kind of distracted this week, and I am looking forward to today. So, what is going on with you today? Do you have a Tao for the day? I don't know if I'm going to pick a number. I'm just going to wait for someone to come up. So if you're listening, come on up. Give me a number between 1 and 81. And otherwise, I will go ahead and probably pick a number for myself. Yeah, so I've been doing well, if you want to know. Yep, here we are. Energy lady, thank you. Thank you. That way, sometimes it's nice to pick one for myself, but Energy lady, how are you doing, dear?
Pretty good. How are you? I just saw
I'm
you come on, and I went, "Ooh, I got a minute. I got a couple minutes. Yay!"
good, good. Yeah, we'll keep it brief, but
No,
yeah, thanks
I
for.
want it. I want at least 60 minutes. I'm only kidding.
Oh, wow.
No, my number today would be 53.
53.
Yes, 53.
53. I like this. Um, I'm just making a note that you picked 53. So if I end up talking for 3 fucking hours, I can remember this on the other side. 53.
I like that positivity. That was good.
And I'm wondering, what translation to do. I'm gonna read this Hogan translation and see what it says. If I had any sense, I'd be trying to get right with Tao, and the only thing I'd worry about would be messing up. It's not that it's not that hard to get right with Tao, but people are easily distracted. When the king's palace is full of treasure, Lao Tzu said, ordinary people's fields are smothered with weeds and the food supplies run out. Today, you see sharply dressed people carrying flashy weapons and living the high life. They own more than they could ever use, let alone need. They're nothing but gangsters and crooks. That's not what the Tao's about.
That is funny.
So I'm gonna read that through again because I stumbled over it a little bit, but then I want to hear your thoughts. If I had any sense, I'd be trying to get right with Tao, and the only thing that I worry about would be messing up. It's not that hard to get right with Tao, but people are easily distracted. When the king's palace is full of treasure, Lao Tzu said, the ordinary people's fields are smothered with weeds and food supplies run out. Today, you see sharply dressed people carrying flashy weapons and living the high life. They own more than they could ever use, let alone need. They're nothing but gangsters and crooks. That's not what the Tao's about. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are the paradigm that I incarnated into is about to dissipate and go bye bye inside of my heart.
Hmm.
And what I consider that all that stuff you just read was the facade of what living a
Mm.
human experience is,
Yeah.
opposed to the heartfelt living an experience. And that, I mean, I was laughing because you were describing what I have been, I want to say kindly, struggling with of what's wrong with me. And I have come to the realization there is nothing wrong with me. And I've always known that, but I couldn't figure out how to get out of my own way comfortably, not comfortably, but safely,
Right.
without judging. And then you just described why I've been judging myself. So good for you.
Yeah, yeah. So this is, like I like this one because it's expressed. This Hogan translation expresses things in a much more kind of relaxed sense than Stephen Mitchell. But I want to look at this first section of if I had any sense, I'd be trying to get right with Tao, and the only thing I'd worry about would be messing up. My guess is messing up just means like not getting right with Tao. I don't know, like you know uh but then he states it's not hard to get right with Tao, but people are easily distracted, and that's the word that I think so much of this is pivoted on, right? That word distracted.
And the thing is that, like I said, through my own, as we call, recovery of sense, is I had been in a very good place of asking questions, but I had those people that were just described on the bottom of this one tell me that I had no idea what I was talking about, and I got distracted from myself because I had nothing made sense.
Right.
So I call, when it says, getting distracted, it's the mind spinning. I always see this little tornado sucking my brain out and not letting me see it clearly. And so yeah, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that, as I like how this starts. Like, if I had any sense, I'd be
Yes.
trying to get right with Tao. And that's the thing. Like, if
You wait,
we,
you want to know what I see in that, when that just
yeah,
that one statement?
yeah,
Meditation.
yeah. If I see, and I think of it broader than that, even like if I had any sense, it's kind of like, I mean, I posted something recently on, and I've posted this in the past, a quote of mine that states, the lack of knowing the exact quote. Let me see. Asking the question, do I like that I'm doing this? Right? Like asking that question is a big deal. Do I like that I'm doing this? If I had any sense, I'd be trying to get right with Tao. Getting right with Tao is kind of looking in your heart and asking yourself, do you like that you're doing this? Whatever that is. Are you
Right. And
are you are you do you like that you're watching Seinfeld for, like 3 hours in the afternoon on a Saturday because you're so exhausted? Do you like that? That's what you're spending your time doing. And if not, you got to trace it back to, well, why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this because I'm exhausted because of my job. Well, okay, well, do I like that I'm working at this job? Well, I like I used to like the job, but maybe I don't like that I'm working there. Like, and then we get to start really, and this is what, like, getting right with Tao, like in our kind of cognitive sense. Of course, Tao is deeper than all of that. It's not just about like the mental and physical, but you have to get there, right? You have to know yourself first. And in order to know yourself, you have to know, what do you like that you're doing? And it's not what do you like, what what do you like doing, because you could like doing a whole lot of things that aren't going to get you right with Tao.
well, you just described some people there. Um, and what I really do is because you know me, I love playing with words. It's even though meditation is not as big, it's connecting into the greatness of who we are. It's and whatever that means to somebody. It's me plugging in to my greatness, my feeling space where I resonate, and allowing everything else to dissipate until I'm solid in what I'm doing. And that's what I see in that first verse.
Yeah. And that
Awesome.
I do want to kind of I just want to skip over this one line just a little bit because it's a little because
What is it?
it's
Which
the
one?
and the only thing I'd worry about would be messing up. And I think really messing up would be like the only thing I'd really worried about would be being distracted.
Actually, the messing up to me makes sense because I was always told that I never had the right answer and I don't know anything and all that kind of stuff. And I've always questioned myself of, is this the right way? So I went to other people instead of to the Tao,
Right.
because I was taught, I was definitely imprinted in me. Your feelings are wrong. What you want is not okay. You have no idea. So you need to listen to me. And that's what would be to me resonating with me when it comes to that one statement that you're seeing, is that no, this is for me to hear. Is, do I want to get distracted? Do I want to, I holding on, not holding on, accepting the idea that I might weave outside of the Tao for a minute gives me permission to do that, so I can see what, see the way back in. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
it's built, it builds more of a foundation for me to be connected to myself and to, as I say, trust me more by allowing myself to weave out. And that would be, even though I'd be afraid, as they say, of the going away from the Tao, I want to give myself permission to not be afraid and to give myself that it's okay, because I always come back. I always come back. Not everybody does, but I do. And so it's coming from within instead of from without. And it's the without, Martin John, that I have definitely, I'm going to say, struggled with.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So for you, that attainment has already been there. For me, which people don't know, is that's attainment I'm actually learning in my heart about listening from within.
Right.
So that's perfect. So let's keep going.
Yep. And then it like this first section, it's not that hard to get right with that, but people are easily distracted, and we know that, right? And we know we get easily distracted,
Yes.
because we have so much program, we have so many things. And then the next section is when the king's palace is full of treasure. Lao Tzu said, "Ordinary people's ordinary people's fields are smothered with weeds, and food supplies run out." And it's like,
What does that mean to you? Because that's pretty,
to,
whoa, broad
yeah,
brush.
to me that means like the 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 things in our life, the things that are important, the foundations are we don't think about the foundation when we get into the space of you know intellect, when we get into space of the physical. We we lose track of the soul, we lose track of the connection, we lose track of the spirit, we lose track of the purpose, we lose track of the substance when we focus on the structure, as I would kind of go into. And the king's palace is full of treasure, and he is distracted. He's distracted, and so there's no, maybe that, eventually that's going to turn into taxes. That's going to turn, because he's going to need more and more and more and more and more, right? Because that's a hungry ghost treasure,
Okay, so
and
so
ordinary
my,
people
yeah,
will
so my,
yeah.
oh, sorry about that. Go
No,
ahead.
no, please.
I was going to say, so my mission of inviting people into um to participate in their own game of life,
Yeah,
but by way of plugging into their greatness and um what is the word I use, igniting their physicalness, puts everything together. And
yeah,
what you're saying is, in your way, because I didn't hear that when you read that, is that this is perfect what
Hmm.
I'm doing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? A total
yeah, yeah,
perfection for what I'm doing. Just stay here because it is different. And I know that. I know what I'm doing is different because it works with both ends. And you
yeah.
understand that.
Yeah, and the king's palace, could be your headspace, while the body and the core and the connection and the deepness is the ordinary people. Like your brain in our society is the king, right? And
Right.
your stomach or your heart, they just keep them going. But really those are the foundations of keeping a healthy brain.
It's called fundamental basics.
Yeah, and then we move into this next section, which is today we see sharply dressed people carrying flashy weapons and living the high life. And when it says weapons, it's just anything that we can weaponize. Even flashy clothes are, separate
Your mouth.
people, right?
Your mouth.
Separate people out, and all of those things.
And I got to tell you that described my upbringing. So it's perfect.
Yeah, they,
And I
ex-
and I and I couldn't participate. I just couldn't do it. There was no possible way. I couldn't do it,
yeah,
which
they
is good.
own more. They own more than they could ever use, let
Yes.
alone need. And this is that the king's palace is full of treasure.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
nothing but gangsters and crooks. That's
Mhm.
not what the Tao is about. And so many people are living life trying to attain
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
And yet the foundation is full of weeds and empty space. And like there's nothing to nourish because the
Mhm.
food supplies have run out.
And that's interesting. It just popped into my head because this definitely is showing me that I mean, really, I don't want to be definitely, but really right now, showing me that first of all, thank you for the hug and saying keep going. But it's showing me that I want to say my upbringing is that way, and I was taught. I mean, it was really put inside of me that if you do not have a career and you're not financially doing it for you, then you are nothing. And what I'm hearing in the energies of this is keep doing what you're doing. It's all going to work out
Yeah. Yeah. And
because
yeah,
money is going to be the big money is going to be the benefit for me and others, but it will not ever be recognized.
right. That's not the
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because if
I'm
you
I'm gonna
recognize that, that
always be me.
foundation is going to
Mm.
crumble. Oh, thank you so much, Energy Lady. I really appreciate you coming up. I do have three people in line. We're going to go with Kelly and then Lois and Julie. If you guys can hang out, great. If you guys need to step away, go ahead and step away. I do know your order so that we can bring you on when you need to. Kelly, how are you, dear?
Hi, doing okay.
Hey, how's it
Good.
going?
It's going okay. Uh, you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
How
really
about
good.
49?
49. I'm taking my notes. 49. And we're going to go to Stephen Mitchell.
Is
For
that the usual?
Stephen Mitchell is the usual. Yeah.
Okay.
The master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She is also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children.
Hmm. That's pretty. It's like a love sick. It's like a forlorn poem almost. Some of them aren't as heavy feeling as that one was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's just take a breath.
I know that was heavy to me. I was gonna cry at one point.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I know that, right? Like, like,
Yeah.
like, like we're here.
Jeez. It's just hormones. That's all it is.
I'm sure. I'm sure. It's okay. So,
I do like this version because of the she parts. you know?
Yeah.
It definitely, is more well-rounded, so, feeling. I mean, I agree, right? Like, you don't have to be a stepping stone, but that's not what you're doing it for, so that's what the first thing that comes up is that you know yourself, you know your intentions, and you do them with a pure and open heart and without seeking intentions back. You show up because you show up, not to gain anything, but because it's the thing to do.
Hmm. That's not easy.
No, but it is at the same time.
Well, it can be. It can be. In our world, it's difficult. Like we were just talking with the energy lady about that. Like everybody around us is like crooks and robbers, and they're just, you know, they're just seeking that one thing. But here,
Yes.
here we have, the master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people.
You're doing it for the right reason.
Mm.
You're not out there to gain your glory, you know? You're not like at the front lines of the army yelling your head off with your sword so everyone could see you. You're doing it to like rally the people and to show them that you're there with them and for them. It's if you go and you work in a factory and you feed your children, then like you're not doing it so that everyone can tell you how humble you are. I mean, maybe some people, but you're doing it so that your family and those around you feel fed and taken care of.
She is good to people who are good. She is also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness.
It wasn't long ago that I heard a story about some woman in some poor part of a inner city who everybody in the area knew because she fed all the kids. Like she worked day and night, and no kid in that neighborhood went without food. Like she was known all her life for the one that just would give food to anybody, no matter who it was. Like, and she would have to leave her house to work, but when she was home, that's what she did. Like every day was just feed people and clean up and feed people in her home,
Yeah.
just because.
Yeah. Like it's not always easy to just treat like we talk about treating everybody the same or whatever, and here it's like you're good to people even who aren't good, like, and that doesn't mean you treat them the same as everybody. You treat everybody good
Yeah,
for that moment, and for what that looks like at this moment for this person. Like it's not like it's a preconceived, it's not an equation. You're good to people who are good. She's also good to people who aren't good. That's true goodness. And that continues. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. It doesn't necessarily mean you trust them with the same things, or you try, but you show them dignity and respect.
that's what I had this image of. This is always a thing for me is that I've known people who I really like who are terrified of people who are homeless, it's a matter of we can look at the same person on the street and see two different people. And while I can see why they might think that that person looks frightening or something, I look past that layer with intention, like to see the person, even if it's a moment. Like it doesn't mean I'm going to go up there and be like, "Hey, do you want something out of my bag?" and offer them to hold it, in case
Right?
they
Yeah.
are desperate. But at the same time, I'm not going to pretend like they're not there or run away either. Like I stay safe and self aware, but I look in their eyes, like
Yeah.
refuse to just see the monster that some people see on the outside. And that's the image that came up.
And that's that's Tao, right? Like the fact that you and this person, whoever they are the same. Now, their desperation could cause them to act in a way that is not right with Tao, and is not, maybe it's right with Tao because they are acting from this, like you are calling on for an experience, and
Mhm.
they're helping you have that experience, but their desperation, right, puts them in a place of hurt, right, and then they have, like, but that doesn't mean that they're not trustworthy. It doesn't mean that they aren't people. It doesn't mean that you're not good to them, because at the core they are you.
Yeah.
At the core they are having this. And now not everybody can experience this, like this depth of understanding, and this understanding where we can love each other in that space and in that way.
You totally
But
just said what I was thinking almost. It's so funny.
that's a big deal, like to be able to recognize that, like, this person is me and I love them,
It,
you know.
agreed. Agreed. This is what I'm really loving right now is that your Tao of the day is the kind of walk that people actually need who are seeking a spiritual openness or a awakening or whatever all the things that you might be hearing about anymore. It's because you have to do the journey. We can't just go and watch a YouTube video and read manifest your destiny and be like, why isn't it working? You have to walk the journey. And every moment that you have just that little like aha moment is a milestone that you might not even understand because you think you have all these miles ahead of you. And of course you do, you always will. But that's not the part that matters. It's the little aha moment and understanding that you call in that experience like you just mentioned for somebody else. So it might be that that is their Tao because that they're calling in a
Right,
certain
right.
experience. Yeah, that might sound terrible to some of us, and no, I'm sick of this experience, but it's a milestone, and like just if you stop fighting it, what you resist persists.
Yeah, yeah.
You
This
get that.
finishes this finishes and says, the master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children.
Hmm. It's a funny experience, the Tao, especially when you say the she pronoun, because I I try to not be full of myself, so I rec I often won't go like, "Ooh, this is all about me." Like it's hard to do that.
Well,
And
it's not about you, but
right,
your hearing it means it is, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And so I just allow myself at these moments to be like, "This is exactly for me. My mind. This is talking about me." Like, like it's a it's just a funny thing to notice that I allow that to occur when I'm usually so resistant to that. But
Yeah.
because it does make me feel, I'm like, yes, like my mind is like space. Like, would you, I am amazing. So
You
that's
are.
what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, the master's mind is like space. And when you look into space, you just look. And it's not like you're going to do anything about that. You just look. And, like you just sit with that. And because you don't understand it, like the more we want to understand, the more we want to understand, we got to go out into space. And then we go out into space and still not enough, you know? People don't understand her. So it's like space. People don't understand her. We don't understand space. They just look and wait. And that's what we do, right? You just look.
It's expansive too, though. And
Yeah.
you can dream because of space. You can believe, you can imagine, you can feel some sort of familiarity or kinship or wonder, like it's possibility.
Yeah. And people look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children. Now, I don't have children, so maybe you can help me there.
Your own children, if you've ever there's nothing like your own children. I have kids that I've also, like, adopted, but it's, which I consider, like, my own, but it's just loving them as they are, honestly. It's loving them as they are, like, they can do wrong, but you love them as they are.
Yeah. And so you love them as they are, whether they're good or whether they're trustworthy.
No matter what they look like, no
Yeah.
matter what happens, you still love them.
Yeah. And that's something.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a different kind of thing, like, if they hurt you and reject you, you still love them. Like, you you just do. I don't know, maybe some people don't, but I have big ones and little ones, so I can actually speak to raising children, to grown-ups, and then also having small ones again, like, end up raising other people's kids since I was a kid myself, so, like, you just like, if they come knocking on your door 30 years later without even a sorry for robbing you blind or something, then you still loving somebody like your child is like just saying, "Come in." It's things you hear in the Bible. It's the stories that are told about just accepting somebody as they are, where they are, for who they are. And doesn't mean being naive, but it does mean you love them.
Yeah. I
Thank
like
you.
just like I feel like there just needs to be some space here. Like I just want you to just have that little bit of space. So I'm being quiet. Like I just noticed that in our conversation I'm not talking a lot. I'm just kind of letting you be here. And I hope that that's I can only imagine that that's what's needed, but I appreciate you coming up.
Thanks for being here, Martin.
Absolutely. I hope you have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. We're going to switch out. We're going to bring Lois up. Lois, thanks for being so patient. And Julie, thank you for being patient and waiting. How you doing, girl? Are you muted? Are you with me? Lois? There you go.
Good, you good?
I'm good. I'm good. How
I've
you
never heard you be that quiet. I was
doing?
like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, dude, what's up? What's up? What's up?" So, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. But yeah,
No,
I've
it's
not heard
yeah,
you be that
it,
quiet.
yeah, no, it was, like every time someone comes up, and I don't know what this is, and I don't know like I do know what this is. It's Tao. Every time someone comes up, I'm here with you,
Right.
and like it's so often that like I notice between one person and the next, there's a different
Yes, it's a
thing
different
going on.
flow. It's a different
Yeah,
flow because it's a different energy. That's why I was
yeah.
just saying to somebody else, and they weren't hearing me. And I was like, "Okay, I'm out."
Yeah, no, and when Kelly came up, there was just this very
Conversation.
still space
Yes, I heard it too.
that needed space. Yeah, and I think that that's like I think that makes this a little bit because it's not just like I'm here to read the Tao, and
Yes.
like really it's not about the Tao at all. Like it's about you and I connecting,
It's about the
and that
experience, man. That's why be honest with you. I know how to get to the dial. I know where to read the dial.
that's
I know
right.
how to interpret the dial.
I
I
give
come on
everybody
here.
the tools they
I'm
need
gonna be
to.
real. I come on here to talk to my Martin John. Okay,
That's
I'm gonna
right,
be real. Okay, cause because
and that's
you know what I mean. I just enjoy the conversation. I enjoy how you break things down. I enjoy um that you remind me of my damn brother so freaking much.
yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
that's the
saying?
thing. Like
So
we're
yes,
just here loving on each other, and
there it is, and happen to be reading something that's edifying at the same time.
that's
That's
right.
what it.
That's it. Like it's just this is just like this is just an expression. Like the writing, the
Yeah,
words are just a way to, that's just like if I would have come up here and do a talk every day that didn't center on something, it could dissipate. But you know, the Tao is the structure for the yin connection that gets made between me and
yeah,
everybody that comes up, and that is just it's just a vehicle, and I
yeah.
love the vehicle, and it's helped me, and I hope that other people that are listening, they get to be helped by it too, and they get invited up, because I think a lot of times maybe people listen and they're just like, well, it's just this thing and I can look it up, but it's like it's more than that.
It's more than that. It's like I said, I come up here for the camaraderie and my brother and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And just to, because I don't get to, I don't, I'm gonna be honest, I don't get the chance to talk to my older brother because we don't know where he is at this
Right.
point. Okay,
Yeah.
they're dead. I mean, I checked. I'm sorry, I tell him to sound so gloom and gloom. I did check the obituaries after you reminded me of him because you reminded me of him,
Yeah.
and I didn't find him, but I did find my uncle, the uncle that was the abuser that caused all of us to have all these trauma lenses. Okay,
Mm.
and he died in 2020. You know, so and I didn't even feel no. I didn't feel nothing. That was so weird.
Yeah.
So weird. I felt nothing. Nothing, Martin.
Yeah.
I almost forgot to tell. I didn't tell somebody that I found out he was there. I told my of course, but then somebody said, "Well, da, 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 da," and oh, how long you been seeing you seen your man? I think he did. He dead because it, I'm glad I said, and then I also felt a relief. I relieved that he is out of whatever suffering that caused him to do that.
Yes.
I'm relieved because there's no more little boys and girls that it can be subjected to him. But I
Yes.
didn't feel anything really.
Right.
Like, oh, was that a loss? No, it wasn't a loss. Was it a gain? No,
Yeah.
it wasn't a gain.
No, it was just the
It,
thing that
it-
happened, and now you know about it.
there it is. There it is. Okay,
That's
but
it.
let me give you number 25 because that's what I told you yesterday, and that's still been penetrating.
Okay. Well, this
So,
is this is a big one, so I'm gonna read it as best I can.
oh wait,
Sometimes,
I always pick these long ones.
yeah, I know it. Something perfect has existed forever, even longer than the universe. It's a vast, changing, unchanging void. There's nothing else like it. It goes on forever and never stops. Everything else came from it. I don't know what else to call it, so I'll call it Tao. What's it like? I can tell you I can tell you this much. It's great. Something that great lasts. Something that lasts goes a long way, and something that goes a long way always comes back to the beginning.
Amen.
Tao's great, heaven's great, earth's great, and someone who's in touch with the Tao is great too. Those are the four greatest things in the universe, and a master is one of them. Someone
What?
who's in touch with Tao is in touch with the earth. The earth is in touch with heaven. Heaven's in touch with the Tao. The Tao is in touch with the way things are.
Dude, that was powerful. I
Yeah.
and I have good visuals too. Wow, they're talking about the power of this pure love and light that created all of this, the essence of us, the essence of every plant, tree, animal, cup, spoon, whatever that's been created, that essence. And it's like, wow, when you get in touch with it, I mean, you were saying it and my vibration was rising, and you
Yeah.
or my vibration was going higher, and I'm thinking, whoo wee, yes, the joy. And I'm over here saying, I mean, in my head, because I couldn't say it because you talking.
Yeah.
I wanted
Gotta,
to clap. So my hand was swirling around in the air
oh, good.
like a propeller. I was thinking, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, that's beautiful.
So
So,
I wanna focus on one thing before we reread
okay.
this. Is this someone who is in touch with the Tao is in touch with the earth. The earth is in touch with heaven. Heaven's in touch with the Tao, and the Tao is in touch with the way things are. Okay, with the way things are, I always bring it like in my mind. It came back to the someone who is in touch with the Tao,
Mm-hmm.
because that's it, right? Like someone who is in touch with the Tao
Uh-huh.
is in touch with earth, is in touch with heaven, is in touch with Tao, who's in touch with the person who is in touch with Tao, who's in touch with the earth, and there's this cycle. And then
Yeah.
I also go back to this line earlier with something that great lasts forever.
That's right.
Something that lasts goes a long way. Something that goes a long way always comes back to the beginning. And then you lose the beginning, right? Like, if you're in a circular closed circle, like there is no beginning, it's just
Yeah,
a closed
right.
circle. And that's what we're in here, right? It's us, earth, heaven, Tao, us, earth,
Yeah.
heaven, Tao, us, earth,
Yeah.
and then, and that's the train. And
Yes.
here we are. And when I say us, my cat is probably more in touch with Tao than I am, right?
It,
Like, and
I would say sentient being or living organism. I'm about to say
yeah,
living
I
organism.
would, the
Okay.
earth, right? Like, I would say the
The
earth as
organ and
well.
a living organism too, though. So
I
you
believe
know,
it. Yeah, yeah.
it is. It quakes. It moves. It shakes. It gets mad. It come on now. It does
No,
everything.
I gotcha.
It's shoot. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. That's why we
Okay,
can find our
so
in it. Go ahead.
as we go through this, we start with this really beautiful sort of passage. Something perfect has existed forever, even longer than the universe. It's a vast, unchanging void. Just explaining the Tao here. There's nothing else like it. It goes on forever and never stops.
That's
Everything else came from it. Like that just sort of says, look, there's a thing that is void. It is the void. The void is a thing. Don't think of it as void meaning missing
yeah.
or without.
It's
It's
a
void
place.
with. Yeah.
Yes.
It's literally, it's like when I posted a thing not long ago that said something to the effect of nothing is always a good thing to say. Like, and this idea that nothing is a thing, and that's what this is the void is a, not quote unquote a thing. It's actually void, but we have to be able to experience it as like things come from this. It's
It's
not the way
space.
we
A
think of it.
space. A
Yeah,
space. Let's look at it as a space.
yeah, it's emptiness,
Yes.
literally emptiness. And
Yes.
then I don't know what to call it, so I call it Tao. What's it like? I can tell you this much, it's great. So all of that just says, hey, look, there's this fucking thing. We don't understand it. You can't understand it, but I'm
You
going to
can't
let you
put it in
know
a
that it's
box.
great.
You can't put it in a box. You
That's
can't put
right.
it in a dogma. You can't. I mean, you can add everything up all on the earth together, and you still don't got it.
No. And it's kind of like, I love this idea of like, air and space and stuff. And then
Can't
you build a
contain.
house.
Uh huh.
What's that? You build a house, right? So
Yeah.
once you build a house, you kind of compartmentalize that space. But it's
Uh
like there's always more space. There's always more Tao. There's always more on the outside. No matter what you build a structure on, you
huh.
will never be able to you will never be able to put it in a structure. The
Yes.
structure will exist within it.
Yes.
And that's you. You exist within Tao. Your
Yeah.
mind, your
Uh,
body, and all of that exists within Tao. And when you think you're going to reach for Tao, you're already missing it because Tao isn't like Tao is greater than that,
right. And the thing
right?
is,
It
it's, a,
is at the core of
it's in
everything.
you. It's in you, and it's all around you at the
That's
same.
right.
So, like I said, and my thing is my here we go. So I should say my thing is my but my whole thing is once you realize that everything you're searching for is found within you, and then when you find it within you, it comes to the without you, and that I mean not without you as in you're left out. It means it comes on the outside of you,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, and like I said, this, like I said, because I don't know. Every time I think of the Tao, I think of that energy and that vast space that I went into when I died, and
Yeah.
that I mean, I'm telling you, that's why I sat here with all the little motions I was making while you were reading it, because and I
Hmm.
feel the vibe of it because that space and knowing that you can't even you can't contain it, you can't lock it in, you can't say this is God or this is it and that's all there is. No, this is it and that's the way he is. No, this is it because he expresses himself differently in everything in
Yes.
everything, and that's why we label stuff. so we can see the different expressions.
That's right.
So I just love this one. Wow, that's why me having them both of them yesterday and today, them two, the 30 with that 30, I forgot what it was now because yesterday was yesterday.
That's right. Let it go. Ain't no need to hold on to that.
But 25 didn't leave. Usually, if I have two numbers, the one when you read one, I don't have that same. I don't think I had that same number the next day, but the 25 came back again.
Yeah.
So this was necessary. It's like, hey, we're all wrapped up in this thing together, and once we realize that it's all together and that we're going in a circle, and that we get out of the circle becomes a suffering when we don't change our thoughts and patterns, and then when we break out of the ring with that compassion, we go to the next ring, and we're in another circle. And then when
That's
we get out of that, then we go into that. It's a multi-level. It's a multiverse. I don't know what that means online. 'Cause I heard that means something totally different. It's a metaverse. It's
yeah. There's
multi-dimensional.
yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for, because every time we may be on this vibration right now, something may come and you may hear something new and it sparks something new again. And then you say, ooh, and then you say, yeah. And then you have put that arrow up and you've jumped into the next ring. And it may not be far from the ring that you just came out of. Sometimes we have dramatic shifts from drug addiction to clean. That's a dramatic one. That's like, whoa, that arrow came up and it sprouted out long, and because that's like big differences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other time, these are small changes that we're making every day as we are submitting and dying to ourselves and submitting to that energy that's inside of us that guides us and give us instructions and teaches us everything we need to know about us to live here on this earth as us, as it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, man, this is just, it just wrapped it all around for me because I was dealing with stuff. As
Yeah.
we all
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, yeah. Always, always.
You
You
know,
and me both, And, like, as this one wraps up, we have this Tao is great, heaven's great, earth's great. And someone who is in touch with Tao is great too. These are the four great things in the universe. And the master is one of them. Someone who's in touch with the Tao is in touch with the earth, is in touch with heaven, is in touch with Tao.
amen.
Tao, in touch with the way things are. And when you are in touch with the Tao, when you are in touch with Tao, you can be in touch with the way things are on earth, in heaven, and in your life.
That's right. Amen. See, look at you. Go ahead, preach, Martin.
Second day in a row, I was called preach.
Okay, hey, because you preaching, man. All right,
I
I'll
am.
talk to you
I am.
later. Bye.
Love you. Love you. All right. Is Julie still with us? Yes, she is. Julie, you are down to like, I don't know, like 4 days, 5 days? 4 days,
Let me
five
think. It's
days. What's going
Tuesday
on?
today, isn't it? So are we counting Tuesday?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
okay, we're counting the rest of the day. It's 3:30, nearly 4 o'clock here. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, fifth day. I set off.
Okay, so
Sunday,
four and a
I
half
start the
days.
journey. Yeah.
4.5 days.
Yeah.
Four full days, and then the rest of today, and then you set off.
Yeah.
What? And you work
Yeah.
on Thursday. You work Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Two
Okay.
long days in front of me.
So
Yeah.
when you work Wednesday, that means you go in Wednesday evening.
No, I am working Wednesday during the day, so that's a 13-hour and a half hour
Oh
shift.
God.
Then
Yeah.
I'll get up again the next day and do another 13 and a half hour shift. And then Friday, I get my crap together. Saturday, I leave.
All right. So what time do you get off of work on? And that's your last day at work. Like
Yeah.
you will then be jobless.
Yeah.
Good on you. Good on you.
Hooray!
What time do you get off on? What time you get off on Thursday?
So if you want to like compare times for you, for me it's 8 p.m. GMT. So if you
8
want to
p.m.
give us a
GMT.
great big shout at, well, I think it's about 12 o'clock for you,
No,
maybe
it's
2 o'clock.
8 p.m. for you. I'm in Central Time. I think that's only 5 hours. I'm -5. So
Okay,
it's
that's
gonna be
cool.
3
3
p.m.
p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah,
I
3
want you to
p.m.
give a great big cheer out for
Yeah,
me.
we're
I
gonna
want you to go, get in.
yeah, get out actually.
Yes. Get out.
Get out. That's
Oh,
gonna be
well,
gorgeous.
it's going to be
I'm
fun.
so excited for you. I'm excited for your trip. I'm excited for you to, step away from your job because you have bigger plans, and I'm
Yeah.
so excited for you.
And you're
And
on the journey.
yeah,
You're
I'm gonna
on the
be there.
journey as
I'm
well.
gonna be
Yes.
there. I'll
Yeah.
be I'll be reaching out to you on WhatsApp, and like once again, if we can't catch up on Dow of the Day, I'll come in and
Yeah.
I'll work with you, privately when I can, of course.
That'd be amazing. I want to share you with Great Britain. Actually, is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
think, this is how I feel about you.
oh.
I think that I'd be selfish to keep you to myself.
Indeed.
So I want to share you
And there's
with
plenty.
everyone.
There's plenty where that came from. I got
I
plenty to go
know.
around.
You have. You have. Anyway, today's Dow of the Day I'm dedicating to my sister Chrissy. You
Is
have
she
done the
with you?
Dow
Is
with
that who
her
you were
again.
talking to?
She is here right now. So I'm going to pass
Oh,
you over. Is that okay, Martin?
absolutely.
Thank you. Here she is.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Chrissy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. All the better for hearing you.
Oh, well, look at that. Julie is such a big fan, and I'm glad that you guys are with me.
Yeah, we love you. You know I'm number one fan.
I was moving that. Just keep moving my shoe.
You're leaning on my trainer. Sorry, Martin John. It might be a bit pongy, okay? I
All right.
apologise.
Well, I could do it better.
Right, pick it up, Chris.
Yeah, so
Number
Chrissy,
16.
what's that?
Number 16.
16. Off we go. And we're going to use, because it's not Julie, we're going to use this. Okay.
Because it's
Empty
not
your
Julie, we need something different. I like it.
Clear your head. Stay calm. Watch as everything happens around you. Everything reverts to its original state, which is nothing. And whenever something becomes nothing, it gets right with Tao. If you don't understand that, you're going to screw up somewhere down the line. If you figure it out, you'll always know what to do. If you get right with Tao, you won't be afraid to die because you know you will. Any thoughts?
Wow. Well, yeah, I'm just thinking. Wow, dying seems to be quite a prominent subject with me at the moment. Because being the nurse that I am,
Yeah.
I've had a lot of palliative patients over the last few weeks,
Mm.
and they have really given me some. The only way to describe it is brain ache
Yeah, what's that?
because but I just want everything to be right for these people. I just want them to go with dignity and respect, and I've been finding it really hard to cross that bridge between being able to speak to a family and say this is what's going to happen and we need to prepare, and not wanting to speak to the family because they don't know. So this being nothing thing seems to be what I need to be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
take yourself out.
Yeah, it's
And
you
that's
sat there and you want to do everything right for the family and for the patient, but you know more information than they do, and it's not a good place to be, if you know what I mean.
I do, I do.
But
And so this whole verse starts with clear your head. Stop
yeah,
thinking. You have to stop thinking
Yes.
because your head is the thing that's going to make it hard.
Giving you the problem.
that makes sense because I do. I overthink to the point that I want everything perfect for them, and I find it really difficult when my superiors say to me, "It's okay if it doesn't go perfectly. There's nothing wrong with that either," and I find
Chrissy,
that difficult.
yeah, no, I understand that. Here's an interesting thing that I discovered recently. Not that it's new to me, but it was just a new way of expressing it. When you're born, there is nothing perfect about that. Like in the sense of if you were to grade your parents, and everybody has this, right? Like, do they have enough money? Do they have enough love? Do they have enough time? Do you have enough space? Do they have enough food? Do they have enough toys? Do they have enough everything to have a child? And really, nobody is going to
No.
have it all. And the thing is when you're born, it's a roll of the fucking dice. Like there is nothing and then when you get older and you start looking around and you start saying, you know what, if my parents just had a little more money, I'd have been okay. But now I'm going to be angry that I grew up poor. Or if my parents loved me more instead of just throwing toys at me and trying to buy my love, I would be better off. And the thing is this is your experience. This has nothing to do with what is actually happening. Because what's happening, if you weren't a nurse, you wouldn't care about at
That's
all.
true.
You wouldn't even
That's
think
true.
about it. So here you are in your job, and the fact that you have your job like gives you the opportunity to think things could be better. And I'm going to tell you that if you try to make things better, there will
Ain't
always
gonna
be
work.
more for you to do.
Oh God. I'm making myself work hard.
You are. And harder and harder and harder, because if you succeed at making it good, you will find something else to do,
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you're in your head and your head is just finding new things. So clear your head, stay calm, watch as everything happens around you. So just watch, just observe. And is there something that you can do? And is there something in your heart that you have to do right now? And if you can do that, you do it. Here, the next line says everything reverts to its original state, which is nothing. And whenever something becomes nothing, it gets right with Tao. Like that's the thing. Clear your head. Get your thoughts to be nothing, because they started from nothing.
Yeah.
And they started
Yeah,
from nothing a long time ago.
yeah. I think when you've had an interest in varied life, I don't know why, but sometimes you just feel this need to try and make things right, and you can't, can you?
No.
It's just really, for me, it's difficult because I think I want to give the best of me to everybody, but that's not always possible.
And
People don't
well,
want it.
the thing is your definition of best. What is your best right now? Sometimes your best right now is sleep. Does that mean you're not doing your best? Yes, you are. Right? Just because it didn't look like your best 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
Your best
Yeah,
is
that's
going to
true. 'Cause
change from moment to moment.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, and I might upset a few people, but I was looking after this gentleman, and he was particularly complicated, and his journey, his end of life, was very, very fraught, very, very anxious, very agitated, and I just didn't know what to do. I was out of my depth. So I finished my shift and thought, well, I've done what I can. I've explained to the family that, palliative care, end of life care is like a rolling stone. It's not going to gather moss straight away. It's a slow process and it gathers the moss as it goes along. And that was my only way of explaining it. But I went home and all weekend I thought about this young man because he was only a young man. And then it dawned on me on Sunday that the best place for him to be is wherever his forward journey was taking him. And do you know what? I know it sounds horrible, but Sunday night I fired up my computer and the first person I looked for was him. And he had completed his journey. And for me, that was a massive, massive sense of relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and that's an awful thing to say, but for him,
Right.
his journey was horrendous. And I did what I could. And the nicest thing that happened was a colleague said to me yesterday, that man really, really liked you. You were great.
That's lovely.
And that sort of made everything, every effort I'd done, it made sense.
Tangible.
That
Yeah.
yeah, so it wasn't. I felt like I wasn't doing anything, but actually I was doing a great deal just by
You
being there.
you be your
That's
best.
right.
Yeah, I just I wasn't even saying a lot. I was just sat there with him, and he seemed to gel with me, which was nice.
And we have to understand that you had an experience here too. You can give
Yeah,
him the power to be like, he felt better, great, but you did
yeah,
too. And
I
you
did
got
because I
you
was being,
you got proof that you are right with Dow.
yeah, I gave him calmness, which he didn't have. But whenever I was in his room, whenever I was sat there chatting to him, he was calm.
And you got
It
to
was so nice.
learn, and you got to learn that, like, in like you got called to do some research. You got called to kind of ask so that you could let it go.
Yeah,
But then you can also trust yourself a little bit more, because you knew that that was all you could do, and you didn't have to keep reaching. You didn't have to go to your head. You didn't have to. And you've been proven that you don't have to. You didn't have to go to your head to figure out more shit. All you had to do was
Just
be
be
you.
there.
yeah.
Was be
Which
you there.
that everybody says that. They all say all the patients love you, and it's like, well, I'd just be me.
That's right. You have to
Crazy old me.
realize that you have to realize that maybe there are places that you're a little harder on yourself
Yeah,
for being you.
that's true.
And that might be your lesson, is that, would, like, the world and the universe is just telling you, would you love yourself, for Christ's sake?
Yeah.
You are very good at
He's
judging.
amazing.
How do you know me? How do you know
He's an
this?
amazing man. I can see who I want to share him
Yeah,
across the nation,
And
can't
so
you?
as
yeah. You just gotta. You may as well have a string going from wherever you are to here with a telescope on the end and look
yeah.
right in there.
You're
So this
amazing,
one
Mum.
this one wraps up for everybody that, like, is still listening. If you don't understand that, you're going to screw something up down the line. If you
Yes.
figure it out, you'll always know what to do. This is it. If you figure it out, you'll always know what to do. Get out of your head, Chrissy. You know what
Sometimes
to
nothing.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
Sometimes
sometimes nothing.
nothing. Yeah, nothing is
Yeah.
always a good thing to do.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
get if you get right with Tao, you won't be afraid to die, because you know you
I'm not.
will.
I'm not. I know I'm going out, and I know how I'm going as well. I'm going to Jamaica in a pot. I am. I've told my kids in a pot I'm going, and they got to spread me in the sea in Jamaica.
Well, yeah.
Why not?
I don't care where I go. I don't care where my body goes
No,
because I won't be with it.
no, that's true.
Thank you so much. You amazing,
Julie,
ma'am.
Chrissy, I love you both. I hope you have a wonderful day. And Julie, keep up, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, we're doing it. Love you.
No, love you. What a nice day. What a good visit with Chrissy, Kelly, Voice, Energy Lady. That's a that's a full, beautiful hour of beautiful women, and just, and yeah, as Kelly mentioned, that one, the Stephen Mitchell section, just talking about she, right? I want to read really briefly. I want to read the one that the 16 that Chrissy chose, but I want to read the Stephen Mitchell edit. Empty your mind of all thought. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the common source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, and kind hearted as a grandmother, and dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you, and when death comes, you are ready. So that was 16 by Stephen Mitchell. Just wanted to read that. It's a different, it's a the Hogan translation that Chrissy and I read was is based on the translations from Stephen Mitchell, so they're not too far off. But I wanted to read it anyway. So thank you guys for joining me for Tao of the Day. This has been I suppose, a Recover Yourself production, because I am Martin John, the recovery mentor. I host the Recover Yourself podcast. And if you benefit from this this program and my work, definitely consider sending me a tip through Venmo or through my Linktree. I'm always open to receiving some financial help, because keeping the lights on keeps me a truckin' and doing what I do. And I appreciate you guys so much. And I want to be able to continue doing this for you guys and with you guys as long as I can. So little tips are big helps. Thank you all so much for listening. Once again, I'm Martin John. And this Friday, I will be being interviewed by Dio here on Wisdom, 2 p.m. Central. And I will also, and I also have new dates for my workshop, folks. New dates for my workshop starting on the 17th and every Tuesday for the next 6 Tuesdays following that. So if you are interested in joining me for a Recover Yourself workshop, definitely get your tickets and or reach out to me and we can talk. The links to that are in my bio link, and you can DM me on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening to Tao of the Day. I'm your host, Martin John, and until next time, keep recovering yourself.